nerve to a nigga say you scared. I'm geeked up, don't scare me though. Hey, I put on my pants like everybody else. When I pop pills, I'm like a hero. Let's go, they gon' say you buzzing because of me. I don't think you ready for that, but that don't mean I think you weak. Let's go, I'm stuck on syrup, I'm just like weed. I don't even really care that much when she get out, think she sneaky. Who blow that money but don't go broke out here like me? Reach back to the mob, it ain't nothing bigger, they told me they see. I'm so slimed in, I'm wiping my eyes so I can see. I'm so slimed in, I'm shutting my skin all over the sea. Pints and carrots, value go up, I'm the highest ever, I kid you not. Hey. I put on my pants like everybody else. Hey, when I pop pills, I'm like a hero. Take a trip to a nigga say you scared. I'm geeked up, don't scare me though. Hey, I put on my pants like everybody else. When I pop pills, I'm like a hero.
Hey,
let's go.
We are back. We're back, baby. We're back, baby.
Milliana, it's been so long since you texted me.
I am an addict. I want the cabbage. I want the baddest. Her ass the fattest. Couldn't go rattle. Picked her up in that Brabus. She wagging on smashing. She said I'm the captain. I am an addict. I want the cabbage. I want the baddest. Her ass the fattest. Couldn't go rattle. Picked her up in that Brabus. She wagging on smashing. She said I'm the captain. Chanel drug out of habit. I swag and swag way harder. I might pull out like Dan and charge her, but my car do not take a charger.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Hold on, let me load my MT5.
I got white with my knee when I'm dusty. Hold on, I think I'm broke nigga talking. When I'm in the trench, shake the guys and 40 Glock under my armpit. And I stay in the marsh, I link with the God. We all got a bondage. I know when it's hate, I'm one with the earth. I know how the elements. He thought he ate, my 999 is not an elephant. I took off the hood just so he could breathe, my car is a elephant. How you say I'm irrelevant when I'm the reason these niggas relevant? Reason I'm relevant, reason I'm relevant, reason I'm relevant. I got the hell reason I'm relevant, reason I'm relevant.
What the fuck? Yo, I just loaded my MT5, this thing shot up. Bro, I just loaded my MT5 and this thing shot up. What the fuck? No, wrong way, Gold. Wrong way. Hold on, chat. We're about to get started here. Anyways, big day, chat. Big Fomc. It's the first Fomc with the new Kevin Walsh. I think that's his name, Kevin Walsh. So first one. Right, if you guys don't know, he replaced Jerome Powell, so no more Jerome Powell. We got someone new as a Fed chair, and this is the first time I'm looking at these markets too. Apparently, he was part of it. I don't know if he was like a Fed chair Powell or something back then, but he was part of the 2008 financial crisis. Like he was in shit. Who knows, bro? We might be having another recession. That's probably why they brought him back in. But hey, I don't know what's gonna happen, but today's the first day where he will be speaking, so we're about to find out anyways, right? But yeah, it's Fomc. Let me just clear everything. Wait, Powell's still in control though, huh? Why is it not filling the gap? Because a gap doesn't need to be filled, bruh. A gap does not always need to be filled immediately. Yo, look. Last time you had a gap, it took 13 days to get filled. It doesn't always get filled. You guys gotta stop thinking like, I don't know where you guys got that term from, where gaps need to be filled, or like don't trade Sundays and Fridays. But if you listen at the charts, you'll notice that they don't always get filled immediately. You know, sometimes it takes days. Like, where was it? This gap right here? I think there was a gap here. Where was it? I think it's on a small time frame, 4-hour time frame maybe. Look, like this gap here took forever. Like look, this gap. You see this gap? There's a gap here, right? 350 pip gap. Man, you didn't fill the gap until like 62 4-hour candles later. So about 13 days. From June 1st or January 19th until February 2nd. That's when it filled. So it doesn't always fill right away. And that's what I was trying to tell people, like there is a gap fill and like it would be nice if we can get that, but we're not gonna get that until there's actually like significant like information providing that we're gonna come down. Otherwise, like this thing could just go up for all we know. To wherever, Fuck Discord. Yeah, let me get started on that. I'm about to do the analysis here. Let's get started. Chat, 1 second. Actually, I need my zoom. All right, guys. So let's do this analysis. Discord, we're live. Volume not mudded. Making sure screen share check. Everything's checked. All right. So yeah, let's see. Gold shot up, right? It shows like, if you look at this structure here, it shows like clean traffic until it shows clean traffic until, so this is your resistance right here, right? That's what you're breaking above right now, and that's the first break outside this range. So what I want to see is, I want to see if you can hold. If you can break up, and this is not, FOMC hasn't came out yet, right? So we'll see what it actually does. But if it breaks up above this range, which it is right now, and this range right here, this resistance isn't too strong. It's not that heavy of an area. Wait, my volume is good. Yeah, so it's not that heavy of an area, because the only areas I'm looking at to mark up that 35, 570, or like these areas here, is gonna be right here, these zones, right? And it's not that, like, it's only based off of those two areas. But this rejected when it was trending up bullish, so that's one. And then over here, you're coming down bearish, and then now like this is like more of a pullback. So like what that means is like you rejected here when you're coming up bullish, which makes this like a pretty strong area, or much stronger. But here, this is actually still coming down, and this could be a pullback, right? So there is a chance of a rejection here, but it's not like as significant yet of a zone, because if you look at gold on like the 4 or the daily here, you're gonna notice that we're in the range still. Like this is the range, this is the top of the range right here, and this is the bottom of the range, right? We still have yet to fill this bottom wick here. So until, oh no, here we go again, the camera. Until we actually fill that gap, right? That is still something doable. But again, to figure out if, or yeah, this gap right here, this like range fill, this is like the middle of nowhere on price, right? This didn't clear, like fill the range completely before coming up. This is rejection in the middle of this area, which is still something minor, right? But to tell whether there's a gap fill, to tell whether we're actually going to come down from the top of the range here to retest the lows, you need to actually see some movements down, right? And you need to see sharp movements down too. And again, this resistance isn't as strong, so you can easily pop past it, continue up towards these areas up here, right? So what we can do to figure out if it's going to hold or not is wait for price to drive up. So let it drive. You know, we can't do much yet, but once this clears, like once we actually hold 35.50, okay, cool. We can now look for continuation of buys up. Right, so hopefully FOMC will give us that information, but at any given point, you can still come down, and that's the thing. Like, you guys talking about a gap fill there. If there is a gap fill there, you're gonna see it come down, pull back, come down, pull back, and then you see how like now you have like some decent like structure coming down. Okay, cool. Let's look for sells now, right, for the gap fill. But you can't just like assume there's a gap fill just because there's a gap. Like it's like looking at any candle, I can be like, oh look, there's a gravestone doji here. what the fuck does that have to do with price? You know what I mean? It's like for you to get to the gravestone doji, you're still gonna need to close above, create structure, close above, create structure, and then you got some volume, you know, to go up, and then you can, okay, cool, let's look for buys like up here, right? Like, but it's like irrelevant because a gap is just like, it's just really like a invisible candle. It's like a clear traffic candle. You know what I mean? So we will be part of that if this breaks. So again, this is the range that we're in like the last 2 days, and this is what you want to see break. And we broke it this morning during NY session, and then now it's re-breaking the highs again. So does this mean a breakout? First breakout could be a fake out. I'm gonna repeat that until we get that down, but first breakout could be a fake out. So at any given point, this could easily pop back into the range because this could be a liquidity. We don't know yet. But what we do know is that this is a daily zone still, right? But a very weak one. So this is like what I mean by like we're in a transition period, because after this transition period, it's going to be more trendy and more like readable, more doable. Until then, we don't know yet, right? But FOMC is pretty big news for there. So we're going to start marking up here our zones. But I think for now, we'll have something up here, right, at that resistance right here. So we'll leave that there and we'll mark it up because we want to see if that could like pull back, pull back and hold. You said W ranging extreme, please no. And then if it continues above here, we'll see structure going up to like 44.41. And yeah, you'll have this as clean traffic right here, right? This would be then be clean traffic going up, but very key to hold. So what we could do is apply like a range 2 breakout, basically. That's what we're going to do. And you know what will make this better? It would be better if there was actually steeper higher lows. Like if there were actually higher lows, I would say like, okay, higher chance that this has to continue. Higher chance this has to continue. If there are like actual pullbacks, but these pullbacks here are very minor, right? Like very minor pullbacks, very minor pullbacks. They're not that steep. So could still be missing a huge bottom wick, which could be that gap fill before going up, right? Or rejection. But I'll leave that there for now. We'll use it as target. Like if we break above, if we stay above 43.76, we know that next target is going to be 44.41. There are probably going to be minor zones on the way up too. Like here, I had that from 2 days ago, yesterday. But just the top of this area, I wanted wick entry sells there. I don't know if we'll get wick entry sells before news, to be honest. I'd rather wait until news comes out. And then if you start breaking below, then we're shifting back into this range right here. So we'll put 42.85, right? We can probably adjust it, move it around a little bit to match these areas. I think right there is pretty good. We'll put 42.88 right there. And then if you start breaking below there, creating structure again below here, that's your gap fill, right? And we'll get that on stream if that happens. But until news come out, we don't know. And then clean traffic is down to here, right? That's the bottom of the range fill. So we'll leave that there too. All right, chat. And then I think that's it. We'll leave it as that. Cool. Cool. So this range going up shows like 310. It's just confirmations of holds now. And then, you know, hopefully news gives us that information. So 44.41, 43.72. Let's put this right here. 44.41, 44.72, 44 or 43.72, like that. And then what else do we got? We got 42.88, 42.21. What was this again? 42.21. Hey, but the camera's flickering, so whenever the camera flickers, we usually get a trade chat. That might be a confirmation. But yeah, that's it. Wait for news to come out in 15 minutes. We'll see how that comes out. And then after that, you know, we can get some, hopefully, movement. Visa had a wick entry there? Where? Wick entry sells? Sheesh. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, soccer match? Oh yeah, Portugal. Portugal. 1-0. Who scored? Nevis? 6 minutes in already. Portugal. Don't gamble, fam? We don't gamble. Actually, no. We always gamble. Probable gambling, really. But yeah, no, we're waiting for news to come out for sure. In this scenario. Wait, one more zone right here, right? What was that? That was 44.08. True? Yeah, we broke the highs too. So maybe this is the one. I think you're good though. I think you're good. I'll be a little worried maybe if it starts breaking above like here. I mean, I don't think FOMC would drive up like, actually, who knows? 2,000 pips. I don't think FOMC would drop that much. But we'll see. But if you break above 46, that's when, you know. I doubt it. Call a new guy. I didn't update the record too. What was the record from yesterday's stream? I forgot to add that. That was, what was that record? 555 566. Nope, that's not the record. 562. We got 200 in here. News. 10 minutes. Let's put the. How do I do picture in picture again? I right click and then do that thing again. I'm just gonna make sure I got that down. Picture in picture. Wait, chat, how do I do picture in picture? Right click. Right click. Right click. Oh, right click twice in the video. True. There you go. Now we can watch it live. W. This is W method. Tay determines if I take my girl to a nice restaurant for dinner or the dollar menu at McDonald's by herself. A minute to win it. You want full send it, bro? Full send. Took preview trade as price broke highs on the 1 hour time frame, just ranging on new range. I think you're gonna move. I think you're gonna move. Like I think we're gonna move. I think we're gonna break out this range, but I just don't know direction yet. That's the thing. But I do think that like a massive move is coming over the next like month, like 3 weeks or so. Like it should be something massive. because like you don't just range like this for like how long? This range here lasted like 50 days or 73 days just to move for 3 days and then pull back. Like I don't know about direction, right? So like the thing is like I don't know if this is gonna be a fake out or if we're gonna continue down, but like you should get a big move. So you don't gotta be in a rush to try to get in like right here or like try to predict it from here. Because if it goes up, you know you're back into the range. You know, like you can look for buys going up to the top of the range. And if it goes down, same thing, right? Like you don't need to get in here. You can wait for price to come down and then, you know, make that decision to take sells down. But that's the thing. Like if you can fight through this shit, if you can fight through this range and fight through this market cycle transition, then it should be very clear over the next coming weeks. But, you know, like from here, it's like a little unpredictable. A little unpredictable. So it's like a lot of range, a lot of false breakouts. Like that's what's gonna happen likely. Eight minutes. 8 minutes. He said, where are we full porting? Depends on, wait, if you add a pineapple, what's the split? 34. UBB at around like 28. Yeah, 28 would be BE. But yeah, I don't know from here really. Chat, there are no news, like we'll be looking for buys here, I'm pretty sure. Because there's news I don't know, right? We're a little too close to news now, but if this is like NY session, because earlier we were looking for this play. We're looking to see if we can break it and pull back and hold. You see how like on a smaller time frame, it's been like holding that range at 7.2. Or creating like structure. I think we had something else maybe here earlier, I forgot. But you wanted to see something hold, right? So if this is the morning, we'll be on buys. Maybe down? Yeah, maybe. This thing's spiking though already. Could be priced in too, because remember, Thursday, Friday, massive moves. Sunday, massive gap, right? So it could be priced in. News could pull back for that priced in move, or it could just not move at all. The last Fomc didn't move. But with where we are on price, at least like, you know, like, okay, if it doesn't move, then the aftermath, you know, like Thursday, Friday, Friday's bank holiday, but Thursday, Friday, and next week should get cleaner movements. And that's when we eat, like for real eat. But we might gotta starve a little bit, maybe, today. You remember that 4316? Wait, didn't it tap it earlier? Wait, actually came down 17. You didn't. Oh, you had entries. You had entries at 16. Man, why would you take a trade in this range, man? Why? Why? I know I did, but on FOMC day. Oh no, you're in from Monday. You were in from Monday, right? Maybe you'll pull back. Hold on. 1 second, chat. I wouldn't say you're cooked, because like I will say though, like make sure you just have your trail stops and areas up. Like honestly, if FOMC comes out and it just pushes up, like I'll wait for a pullback. If it pulls back and it doesn't, that's not the one that rips down, then yeah, GG's. Because then if it just does that, that's like a higher low, so you can look to manage then. Because the first push can literally be liquidity. Like let's say FOMC comes out, because the first push can be a push up and then back into the range for the rest of the session. This could be liquidity. This is the first breakout outside of the range. But if you create structure, then yeah, you might want to look for ways to manage. 1 hour celery at 43.57. You mean 6.7? I think I need a new CPU or something, because this might be my PC that's bugging. Chat, 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. You ready? Chat, news here. FOMC. Let's see. Let's see how this comes out. 2 p.m. East, right? 2 p.m. East coming up. Uh-oh. Let's see. What is it gonna be? Okay, so push down. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So if this is to continue down, we can't be part of this. But below here, I'm assuming below there and all of this, like that's when we'll start looking for who the fuck is this guy? Below there we'll start looking for ideas again. But this could just be a higher low still to come up, right? So don't jump the gun too early yet. But this is a massive or a decent move. 360, 370 pips on FOMC. So more normal than like last time. And also chat, you have a speech at 2:30, okay? 2:30, you got a speech for the new guy. So that's if you don't move crazy now, you can move crazy at 2:30. $230. What's up, Pluto? Pluto. Chat, who had buy stops and sell stops? Congo scored? Wow. Congo scored 45th minute. This is good. Chat, you got a push, right? You came down here, you made a lower high. Let's see, can you continue to break? Again, like I really want to see this play out, but below here, like starting below there, I'm only saying below there because that's when you start breaking structure. But it's not just below there. You want to see a break further, pull back, hold that zone, and then if it continues to re-break, that's our position. So we might get in from here to here, right? It's a very like below there, but not here. I'm gonna have to let this drive down like maybe another like 360, at least 360, 330. All right, but then below here. But yeah, keep an eye out for 319. It could be quick too. Hold on. If we get positions today, what will stops be? That's the daily flip, right? If we get positions below there, let's say you could probably use this high 1700 pip stop. So that would be 0.06 lot. Wait, can I use a better stop or is that it? I think that'll be it. At least here, 1870. So yeah, 0.05 lot probably. 0.05 lot if we get in sales later. Right, but we gotta let this come down a little more. We gotta sell the bottom. Make sure it's the bottom. Okay, not actually the bottom, but we gotta wait for structure is what I mean, right? Alright, chat. For those that are new. We should just put the FIFA game right here, huh? Get copyrighted though. That'd be cool. What does no top wick mean? No top wick just means that it doesn't always mean a flip, but it means like there's something missing there. So it doesn't have to happen immediately. It's like a gap. It's like you can have a gap opening, it might not come up immediately, right? So if it starts like coming up like this, starts creating structure, okay, you can assume that okay, this will get filled, and then you can look for positions going up for the 1 hour flip. There's just a possibility that I can flip. That's the idea. Chat, this is driving down pretty heavy here. Could get positions here. So almost there, almost at 319. You want to see that break, okay? At least below there, and then pull back, and then if like I'm assuming we'll get in below probably like 4306, because if it breaks, then they should get a clean push, and then that pullback after that would be the push. So it could be anywhere from like 18 down to 06 is the position. You might be good, Penzo. That might be the high. All right, tapped 18. Let's see. Can you push below now? Right, and this push could be the break of 12. You have leg candle fills right here too. Okay, there's a push. Pull back. Okay, re-break of this, chat. Get ready. The re-break will look for sells. Okay. The re-break of this low. And all right, chat. Got on sells right there. TP will place it down here. Where's my TP? How many pips is that? Around 85. Right. So that's the sells. And then BEs, same position as the one on Monday. And then BEs are going to be right here. So 43.10 would be BE. I lied. That's not BE. BE would probably be a lot sooner. Probably like around. Okay, yeah, that's trail stops for sure. Trail stops. Trail stops. Trail stops. TP smacked. Yeah, we really be doing this shit. We really be doing this shit. We really be doing this shit. We really be doing this shit, bro. We really be doing this shit. We really be doing this shit. We really be doing this shit, bro. Chat, come on now, bro. Come on now, bro. We waited so long for a trade. We got one a week later. 1 week later. Oh no, I lied. We got a break even 2 days ago, and we got another one today. Come on, man. Come on, chat. Even if you don't fuck with the trade, bro, you gotta respect the patience, cause the breakdown, bro. I gave you guys the key, the plan today. What we're gonna do, right? And we got it. We got it. I'm like somewhere below 18. We'll get some. Boom. Straight dubs though. How many pips is that? 100 pips, runners. That's a pretty crazy runner. Holy, we actually got a TP smacked. I was gonna trail, and then we just hit TP, so W. And then yeah, we can get another trade too, but obviously, you know, I think yeah, let's see what happens from here. You could come down towards the gap fill. If it starts breaking below like 42.57, shit, we got the gap fill. We're gonna look forward towards that. But we have a lot of range. The thing is, you have a lot of range. If this is a true correction of the move, don't stress. Should get more opportunities. But as you approach these heavier zones, right, just be a bit cautious. Like especially like 42.88. I think that's the next like major zone. So you could be a bit more cautious there. All right, champ. But what percent we do there? $50.65. Holy. $50.65. What do we got there? What did we get there? What did we get there? What did we get there? $50.65. 1.85%, chat. 1.81%. W day. W day. That's a pretty big percentage. That's a pretty big percentage. We don't usually average that crazy high, but W. W. Let's see. So if this continues, right? 2:30, Jerome speaks. I'm just gonna journal this chat because I got a journal, and then after I journal, we'll come back and we'll look to see what we can do next. Okay? Congrats to everybody though that caught this. Good shit. Good shit, man. What percent was this? Pips wise was 101.3. W. Okay, let's journal this out. 17, 6, 2026. You didn't catch a few now. You missed it, bro. How you missed it? 2:05 p.m. Of course, we got sells too, right? Like the streak continues for the sells, chat. We still haven't gotten buys yet. You know, still no buys yet. What was my buys today? A bearish. I'll put. We took sells. Look for. I think it's a leg candle fill. We can put 2. Leg candle fill on the one that didn't get filled on Monday, right? Oh look, we're breaking back into that gap area too, so that likely could get filled here, right? You have a lot of range too. You have a huge leg candle here, chat. So if we can't get this, which I don't know if we will, if it drops by the time I finish my journal, but below here, and I think since we don't have a pullback yet, could we get a wick entry sells? Because this is a massive move down with no pullback. So the thing is, if this is a higher low, then you might not. But let's see. I'm just gonna finish the journal first, but it could be wick entry sells or continuation of sells for breakouts. All right. I'll put the 30. Current higher low, 4-hour stops, 30-minute time frame. Next large point resistance on the minute, 34.1. Leg candle fill on the 30. Win. 0.05 profits. $50. So that's a big transaction fee we made today. $50.65. Wait, let me just make sure that this thing. Nice. Very nice. W. Hips wise, 101.3. Drawdown. I don't think there was drawdown. Was there? Actually, there was a bit. I'm gonna put it as 41 pips. Chat, and also, you seen how like the spreads got a little tighter there too? Like something to pay attention to, right? When it was coming down, like even right now, spreads are pretty tight. It's like almost invisible, right? So it's just like a small indication of like volume. But yeah, and usually around news, you would like widen and then you tighten. And then once you, usually when you get direction, that's when it's like it tightens up. Cause it's so volatile, you don't even notice. We hit TP, right? So just put 101 point. Wow, a TP smack. We were just talking earlier, like when did we ever get a TP smack? And we got one today. Okay, and then scenario is TP hit. Sorry, there's a little long chat, but it's good for the mental after you take a trade to calm yourself down a little bit, because you're running on like, you know, after you take a trade, you're running on hopes and dreams, so you want to just calm down a little bit. Time was 2:05 p.m. New York, gold, sells, lecandle fill, current high low on a 30, full, 101.3. All right, cool, we're done. Oh yeah, percentage, last thing. We made yesterday 0.06. And then today we made 1.81%. Nice. Nice. So yeah, now let's see what happens, right? Again, we're approaching heavy zones, so be a bit cautious at these areas. There are zones that you could reject off of because they're heavy zones. But look, next up is the gap fill. So you just got the same thing applies. You got break below, pull back and hold, and continuation down would be nice. The move save your ass. Hey Panzer, you might be good, bruh. Low key. Did you get pineapples? Did you end up getting a pineapple? You got 127 pips on personal and decided to close as a regular position. Don't want to fuck up my trading by doing some weird shit because of the swing. W. Did you get what did FTMO do? Chat, you have a leg candle fill, so let's see. Can you get a body reaction off of these zones here? Off of these zones. Reach the 1K threshold and your 1K funny. Let's go. Let's get it, man. I really don't know what that means. I think it's a good thing, right? DRL. I think I prefer chat taking wick entry sells, to be honest, because this is already directional. Now, if this is directional, wick entry sells could be nice. You don't gotta take the bottoms. Let's see. What's our record? 563. 563. No shot. This move doesn't get corrected. Or what? It sells. Let's see. It's a pretty heavy drive. I think this could still be liquidity though. That's the thing. Because remember how I mentioned like this is a range? This is a 1-2 pop down. So this could still be a continuation up. It is a possibility. The 1 hour has no top wick. So let's see. Right? Like it could, a lot can still happen today. This can be a pre-move. Could be. You went 350 pips in the drum for 11 pip TP. Congratulations, Eddie. 350 pips for 11 pip TP. That's the devious we know. FTMO got 90. Of course. Of course. 13 now. Okay, yo, chat. Can we get wick entry sells? First initial reaction, right? If you pop straight up here, this is like a leg candle. If we do get a wick entry sell shot, it's gonna be 4322. First initial reaction, very key. It pops up first initial though. You see how it's not pulling back right now? It's just one constant move. So if that continues up towards these areas here, we're gonna look for wick entry sells. And if we get that, stops are the same too. I think same stops. 16 better actually. It'll be 1700 pips. So right here will be the stops. And then if we get the first initial reaction, then we can get, yeah, right here. And then that could be like your range from there down to here. And that could be your BE zones. And then like this wick right there, your BE zone. And then this is like your trail stop zones. And then just continue trail stops. And we can extend a TP. I don't know about a runner, but we can try to attempt like TP at like 42.94. But again, you want to see this drive up first, right? And then the idea is you come back like this, because then like that's a higher low now to either continue up, or that's a lower high to continue down, because this is still bearish. So it's like a both situations you'll be good for buys and sells. But yeah, you want to be in before cap. Like if this movement happened now, right? Like you want volume obviously. So 215 pips to go. Azay 43.22. It could be lower too, but I'm basing 42.22 off of just like these four zones here, these areas here. So yeah, it'll be the same exact like areas we took the trades on Monday this week on. Basically all the trades are in the same area. There's gotta be something there. It's like a magnet. Shake my head. Should have stuck to my plan. I should have taken mid 70s. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, man. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. No shoulda, woulda, coulda. And get rid of shoulda, woulda, coulda. The faster you get rid of shoulda, woulda, coulda, the faster you could excel in trading, right? How many pips you gotta go? You got 140 more. Let's see. So yeah, if it's what was stop 1700, we'll use same lot size 0.05. Maybe 0.06 actually, since yeah, it could be a 0.06. 1700. Actually no, let's do 0.05. Interest rates, yeah, they stay the same. 3.75, yeah. Yeah, they forecasted 3.75 too, so that's pretty good. And now let's see, 10 minutes until the speech. Is this a pullback? That might be the pullback. I wouldn't consider it a pullback, chat, until you break these lows. If you break that lows, then GG's. You know, if you hold that zones, then you still be good. Chat, can we get 100 likes for that though? We're at 45. Then we can get a little more than that. Just a little bit. Why can't I copy this? Damn. Green. There we go. So chat. Is there any way we can access your train journal template, not yours personally, but just template we can use ourselves? Yes, sir. Right there. Right there. Chat, I don't know if we can get this wick entry cells because this is the rejection, right? So you wanted the first initial reaction. This is what I mean by first initial reaction. This is the move. This is the pullback. First initial reaction. Done. It's already done. So you can't really take that same trade no more. You can, but like the thing is, like, if you come back up, that's like more structure now, because now if you come up, it's not the same first move up. It's like move up, move down, move up. It's like you have a higher probability of like less likely to reject, right? So that's why like when it comes to those ideas, like very precise of like how you're looking at it, how you're viewing at it. It's not about the tapping the level. It's about how you're coming up towards that level or how you're coming down towards that level is what's going to be key. That really matters. That's why like the minute time frame comes in clutch sometimes. Being able to tell what's going to reject versus what's not going to reject. That really helps. Traveling to Vietnam in 5 hours? W. Where you staying? Damn, chat. We just gonna take the win and then y'all just gonna get quiet after. Hold on, let me get some water. All right. Pencil, that's that Polish Wi-Fi, bro. Or maybe it's banning people that are not, like, aren't they strict about, like, I don't know, some countries, some? $15 flip. Let's see. This is the gap fill. It's a little different on MetaTrader, but you're approaching it. You're a buy here? No. We buy high, sell low. This is low, right? So we selling. We'll buy if it breaks above like 7.2. Not even. Probably above like 83, you know, but we buy high, sell low. One low turns to another low. Bearish. Weekly mine closes bearish leg. I'm gonna delete these. The bearish leg. How come it looks like that? Oh, shit, maybe. Maybe. But then again, I lied, you didn't close leg here. Maybe it'll drive. That's the thing. It tapped the same zone, right? So maybe you can get the same drive down now that fills that wick. That's the thing. How many days you got left? Chat, Friday's a bank holiday, huh? Reminder. Friday is a bank holiday, so you're not going to have much volume on Friday if you're trading Friday. If you're trading Friday, be careful. Volume could be a thing. No, I don't know that method. I don't know that method. I don't know. I know one method and one method only. Quite sure the gap will be left alone today. Let's see. Oh, I think they're about to speak, chat. Someone's live. Let me shut up. Let's see. It's gonna be a good afternoon. Let's hear how the first good afternoon sounds. Y'all ready? Oh, there he is. There he is. Let's see. Let's see. Let's hear it. First, good afternoon.
Good day.
Good day, bruh.
It's an honor.
Good day. That's the new term. Good day.
Reserve, and to take up
Good
this
day.
duty at a time of such consequence. I've been especially heartened by the warm
Should have put on Kaushi like,
of
is he
old
gonna say good day or good
friends and
afternoon?
colleagues both. And I've listened closely to my fellow FOMC members. Heard a lot of new ideas, new thinking, and genuine interest in moving the Fed forward.
Trump.
This week's FOMC meeting exemplified the very best of the Fed's traditions: rigorous debate, open-mindedness, commitment to mission, responsibility, and accountability for performance. In this business, they all add up to one thing: getting monetary policy right, or as near to it as we can do. That is our North Star. My colleagues and I are here to serve our legislative remit, which you've heard us say before: price stability and maximum employment. And these objectives guided our business in the meeting just concluded. As you saw a few moments ago, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the Fed funds rate at 3.5 to 3.75% in support of the Fed's dual mandate. The committee also reaffirmed its policy of maintaining ample reserves in the banking system. Economic activity is expanding at a solid pace, despite elevated uncertainty that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East. Productivity growth and capital investment both strong. Job gains have kept pace with the workforce, and the unemployment rate has changed little. We recognize that inflation has been running well ahead of the Fed's long-stated inflation goal of 2%. That's been going on for more than 5 years. Persistently high prices are a burden for the American people.
What does this
But
speech have to
the
do with the
recent
market?
past need
I honestly
not be
never know,
prolonged.
but
I am pleased
I know
to
it brings in
report
volume. Oh, you got that
that
tap.
members of the FOMC are unambiguous
Let's just hear what
and
he says, though.
unanimous. This committee will deliver price stability. At any institution, a change in leadership is a natural and timely opportunity to reaffirm its mission, to review current practices, and to consider whether those practices best meet our objectives. My Fed colleagues and I will be working in close collaboration to ask what changes might improve the conduct of monetary policy. On that score, you might have already noticed something, a difference in today's policy statement. It's a bit shorter, a bit simpler, and it dispenses with some older language. That statement just gives you the facts as best we can judge it. Absent also is so-called forward guidance, which we agreed was not well suited to the current policy conjuncture. This afternoon, you also received the usual summary of economic projections. It's been the practice of this committee for participants to submit these projections, and I have encouraged my colleagues to continue to do so. I, however, have refrained from offering any projections of my own consistent with my long-held views on the SEP, at least as currently structured. In the median projections, real GDP rises at 2.2% this year, 2.3% next year, and total PC inflation runs at 3.6% this year, 2.3% next year. The unemployment rate stands at about 4.3%.
All right, yo.
The median participant judges that the appropriate federal funds rate.
All right, chat. So look, we're looking for wick entry sells, right? Still. So we didn't tap 22. We couldn't get that too because it wasn't the first initial reaction, right? But you're approaching 42.57. So I'm thinking like this is the gap fill approaching, right? Right here. Where is it? Sorry, let me just minimize this. Let me just minimize real quick. But look, this is the gap fill. This is the gap right here, right? The gap. It's just a clean traffic candle. So you have clean traffic till 42.21. Now the thing is, do we want to get in as continuation, or do we want to get in as a wick entry sell, right? Because if we want the wick entry sell, we can also let that play out and then pull back, and that pullback right there could be the wick entry sell down, because then you're just expecting price to like create structure. Like if this is the massive move down, pull back, and then from here it's like, okay, is price going to create a higher low to continue? If it does, then you'll get that push down anyways. And then next comes the continuation. So we continue to break belows, then below here we're going to also look for a continuation of sells, right? So we could also get in on part of the move down, but again, I have like a 42.57 marked up. I forgot exactly where I based that off of. I think it was a leg candle actually right here on the 15. Leg candle body reaction here on the 15. So that is what you're approaching. So I personally, if we already got the first move down today, like as a directional move, then usually in these cases, I'll wait for like a pullback. I'll wait for more of a pullback wick entry sell rather than just taking like a rebreak of lows. Because we already got a part of it. But not mainly because we got a part of it, but just because like when it drives, right, I don't know where it will actually like reject off of, especially when it gets a little tricky in these areas. But it shows clean traffic, right? But let's see. There's something here that rejected right here off of these zones here just now. So we'll see if that even comes back down, right? But likely if it does, we may miss on this range chat. And then the first initial pullback. If there is a pullback, we'll look for a wick entry sell. And then if you continue to break the highs now and from here, then can we take a wick entry sell? Is the leg candle fill right now happening? I don't know, because you got the first initial reaction already here, and then it came back up to break it. So the third time, if it breaks the high, there's the high chance that it would likely give you a pop. So I don't know if it'll even be a 4322. It might even be higher. Your next zone could be like maybe 43, 47 up there in those areas. But then that's so close to like flipping. The flip is here. And if you approach these areas, there's a high chance that if that was a move down and this whole thing gets corrected, man, we may get buys, right? And that's going to be more so above like 43.27, 43.72. That'll be our buy area. All right. So that's like the plan I have for now. So just let this play out. Like this is when everyone wants to get in. Because it's breaking the lows, right? But just be a bit cautious as you're approaching like these areas. Just mark them up and be aware. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking them, but just be aware that these are like your good BE zones or like trail stop zones and all of that. But I think I'm gonna wait for probably price to push through and then pull back. And that first initial pullback is the wick entry sells that I'll take. So that means that we may have to miss out on like a range of 600 pips. All right. And then if it comes up, we're going to have to watch it drive up like at least 800 pips first. But since it's so volatile right now, like chat, trust me, this is the very first move. Like we're still in the range. Remember that, right? Like gold is still like barely moved today. Like forget the pips. Look at like the structure. You barely have movement. You're in the same range. You're in this range still. So the next coming days, 2 weeks, get ready. It's going to be crazy. But if you can sit through the transition period, when things actually pick up, it's just like constant drives, constant. So end of June, July, August, constant movement. But yeah, let's just hear what he has to say for now while we wait.
Principles. Does this include a review of the 2% target itself? You've mentioned that things to the right of the decimal point don't matter. Should this be starting from a premise that 2% as a point estimate is too strict?
Let me break that into two pieces.
Play it safe and wait for the break. Yep.
Review.
You always want to just make sure it aligns with your analysis, right?
What are the drivers of inflation? What's the Fed's responsibility for inflation? In part, how do we measure inflation? But that'll overlap with my data group.
Sorry, what's he been saying?
Inflation objective. That is the Federal Reserve's long-held objective of 2%. You've heard me say before, I tend to focus on the left of the decimal point. Well, the 2 is the left of the decimal point. For now, 0 is to the right. I see no reason until we have reestablished our commitment and ability to deliver on the 2% inflation objective.
Is it how clear is this guy?
So that'll be outside the scope of what we're taking on.
Thank you so much. Colby Smith with the New York Times. You've in the past said that inflation is a choice, and in the policy statement, it includes this pledge to deliver price stability, as you've reiterated today. But looking at the SEP, the bulk of your colleagues expect core PCE to run around 3.3% by year end, and for the 2% inflation target not to be reached until 2028. So I'm curious how patient you think the Fed can afford to be at this juncture in terms of waiting for one-time inflation waves to wash through and for underlying inflation to step down after so many years of inflation running above target, and under what circumstances you would support the Fed taking some action and raising rates.
Sure. So quite a bit there. Let me try to break that into pieces. First, we have the capability and commitment to deliver on our price stability objective of 2%. That's exactly what we're going to do.
Low key, he has my haircut, chat.
The Fed's review of its strategy over the last any number of years, in January, the Fed, including the strategy that we're still bound by, the Fed statement says that inflation is primarily determined by monetary policy. You bet it is. I've said for years inflation is a choice. You bet it is. And today I'm announcing that this committee unambiguously and unanimously have decided we are going to deliver on that. The rest of your questions sounded like an encouragement for me to give forward guidance. We've dropped forward guidance. Some along the committee, I think, dropped it, I suspect, from our discussion the last couple of days, because they said at this moment in time, it doesn't feel as though providing forward guidance is right. Others have, I'd say, different views and think as a general proposition, forward guidance isn't the business we should be in. But that'll be taken up by the Task Force on Communications and my policymaker colleagues. We're going to listen hard to what the experts say and make our own decision. But I can't give any forward guidance about what we're going to do next. The good news is we'll be meeting in 6 weeks.
So just following up, I guess, on the current policy settings, then I am curious how restrictive you think things are at the current moment, given the flow of data that we've seen and, you know, forecasts that are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. I've heard characterizations both inside and the Fed about that. I'll give you my own. It's uneven. If I look at the housing markets as one example, Fed policy isn't the single determinant of the state of the housing market, but broadly I would say there, Fed policy appears to be somewhat restrictive. I would have a hard time managing to say those words if I were to see what's happening in financial markets. So I'd say it's uneven. That's perhaps a function of different transmission mechanisms of monetary policy, whether monetary policy is coming from our interest rate tool or our balance sheet tool. But the good news, we have a task force on that too, and the balance sheet task force will be looking more at that subject.
Oh, they all raise their hands at the same time, bro. He's ready.
You said you don't like forward guidance. You dropped it from the statement this time. But with the dot plot, 9 members suggested that they want a rate increase by the end of the year. And the markets have taken that as forward guidance. So what does this mean in terms of how you guide the markets and in terms of what the dot plot's future is?
I'm going to have to give you the same answer I gave to Ms. Smith. We've got a task force for that. I'll give you a little bit more. I reviewed the dot plots, and when I saw the submissions, I noted that all the submissions were coming in with pencils, you know, those kind with the big erasers. That's to say that I think my colleagues around the table, when they submitted their dots, understand the world is changing quite quickly. And they didn't feel bound by them 6 weeks from now or 6 days from now in the event that their circumstances change. I'll note a couple other things. What I heard around the table was,
what's he saying, bro?
As they submitted their
I feel like he's saying a lot, but I don't know what he's saying.
To be clear, weren't
like he's just kind of like
more likely than not. This was more likely than their other scenarios. So I didn't hear tons of conviction. What I heard was the kind of humility that I think we should have. I did not submit a dot. For me, it's not helpful in the conduct of policy. I suspect by year end, as I mentioned in my opening statements, there'll be a review about communications broadly, press conferences, dots, meetings and the like, transcripts, minutes.
I see.
This will be part of
I see his
that.
vision.
I don't want to prejudge the outcomes there, but I'm pretty open-minded about what they could be. And I was just incredibly impressed over the last couple of days. My colleagues over the last 2 days, and frankly, over the first 3 weeks I've been here, they've been very open about changes. Change isn't easy, change is filled with risk, but our number one goal is to get monetary policy right. The way to get monetary policy right is to deliver on the remit that Congress gave us, to deliver on price stability, and there was no disagreement on any of those points.
At the risk of possibly getting the same answer about task forces, communications, what is your feeling about these news conferences? Are you going to continue?
Kind of cool how we can see this
one
live,
after
though.
every meeting? Do you find them useful? What is the future for the way Kevin Walsh will communicate?
Well, this one's probably got another 15 or 20 minutes in it, so I don't want to prejudge the outcome. Press conferences can be a very useful way to communicate with households, businesses, and more broadly, through using the likes of you. I had a great old mentor named George Schultz, and his mantra was press conferences are useful, but when you have one, you want to make sure you have something important to say. Today, I think we had something important to say about our commitment to deliver on price stability, our commitment to rethink practices with an eye of moving the Fed forward, and to give you and the American people a sense that these aren't idle thoughts, these are concrete thoughts, that we're going to seek out the best minds, both the best thinking inside of the Federal Reserve and the best people I know in business and economics and the academy and technology and the rest, to share their views. That's what we're going to be doing here, the pursuit of truth. I think we're going to come up with some new and interesting things. We made some changes today. I expect more changes to come, and some of those might well be worthy of a press conference.
All right.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. Thanks for taking our questions. Could you give us a sense of how you see inflation more in the long term? I know you may not want to comment on the ups and downs, but is this mainly driven by energy prices in the Iran war at this point, or do you have any concerns about underlying inflation pressures in the economy? Thank you.
So I can't do
All right.
much better than.
All right, chat. So, what are we gonna take now? Looks like this 1 hour might flip. Actually, holy.
That's paragraph goes on to say, but to be clear, the Fed will deliver price stability. My own judgment is the committee spent quite a bit of time, not just in 2 days, but over iterations of a couple of weeks. That's what we're prepared to say about inflation, but the commitment to deliver
Interesting.
is
Chat.
strong.
You have 1 hour might flip. If the 1 hour flip, that might be pretty crazy. Like, it's 12 minutes left, so still quite a bit of time, right? But we're halfway. Let's see. It might close leg candle even too, but that's 600 bips. 600 bips in 12 minutes. We'll see, right? But that'll be 3, and we'll have a new 1 hour close, and then we'll see what we can do. But again, I think if I'm looking for a position for the chat, it's gonna be continuation, or my bad, wick entry sells, or that's probably it, to be honest. I don't know if I'll look for buys above here if we break yet, because we'll have room tomorrow to go up. If it goes up today, it'll go up tomorrow or whatever. We'll just follow the trend tomorrow, right? But if we continue to make our way down, then we can look for wick entry sells. That's if it comes down and pulls back and all of that. So I think I'm probably gonna set a session stop loss in the flip or something. If it flips, I'll call it GG's. We'll call it a day, okay? But yeah, I think that's really all I got right now. Really all I'm looking for. Just waiting to see if we could continue down here. If this is a lower high, or are we gonna correct, right? Because look, there's 2 perspectives there, chat. There's 2 perspectives there, okay? There's the perspective that we are bullish on a small time frame, and I think this might be your biggest pullback, which is what we wanted to see. And if it's the biggest pullback, and you come back up, then guess what? This is a higher low. The other perspective is overall, we're bearish. Overall, we're bearish though, right? You might not want to hear it, but looking at price, it is unfortunately coming down, right? So this is bearish. And this right here, this move could easily be a lower high. This could easily be a lower high, because look how long you've been bearish for. You can even go all the way up here, right? Back to February. Overall, it's bullish. But like from this year, like that perspective, like these areas, any of these lower highs could be structured. Could be structured to continue down. So that's like the 2 perspectives. So it's a battle between the 2, which is why I keep saying like it's a transition period, right? Once we get that transition period done with it, once we figure the next market cycle, either if this is a continuation, then GG's, right? It's gonna be straightforward. So you don't need to force anything today if like, it's not as clear, or if you got a position already, you just call it GG's. What percent today? 1.81%. So it's pretty good. That's like a whole week. We caught that all today, when last week we did 1.47, the week before we did 1.96. So that's a pretty 1.87% the week. Not bad. And we have tomorrow, chat. Tomorrow's the last day, right? Friday is gonna be bank holiday, so I will not be streaming Friday, but we have a double session today.
React to incoming data.
All right, but yeah, we'll be here for a little longer. Let's see. There is the possibility, but if you start making your way up, then that might be wraps.
How will the Federal Reserve react to that incoming information?
What do you mean, unfortunately?
The more that markets are paying attention.
Oh, your leg candle? This is a leg candle. You might be good.
Deciding what's good.
I think you're good, Penzo, as long as you just
the more financial markets
survive that gap. After the gap fill, if you can stay below 220, 221,
financial market prices
good.
are probably the most important source of information.
But yeah, this is I just really don't know from here like what's gonna exactly happen. It's a little tricky.
Doing is reflecting back what we've said. Then we're taking the most important source.
Yeah, daily account lower
and
too.
being blind to it. I'd like us to create a system where those blinders come off, where markets are following data that they efficiently think is reliable, and they'll be watching data, we'll be watching data. They'll come with better information through market prices to us. We can make more informed decisions. But ultimately, the goal that I said at the outset, deliver on the price stability objective that Congress told us to do, and that we've got to get in the business of doing.
Yeah, if I could take you in the meeting a little bit. So your first meeting, the board members seem fairly hawkish when you listen to, in general.
Fairly hawkish. That's a big word in these press conferences, chat. Let's see, is that gonna move?
One proposal on the table.
He said the word hawkish.
There was
That's
no
like a signal,
discussion of
basically.
any other proposals. The discussion on that proposal, I would say, was quite limited. The group was unanimous and unambiguous on it. It has been
Unanimous
the
and
practice
ambiguous.
of this central bank and others to have a range of alternatives. Today we had one. I thought it furthered the discussion, deepened it, and made it clear what we needed to do and how we needed to deliver. I wouldn't prejudge what happens in the future, but there was only one big subject for us. We took it on. We had a good family fight on it for a couple of days, and we ended up, I think, in a better place.
Thanks a lot, Claire Jones, Financial Times. Coming to this blind, reading this very nice short statement that I think we've all appreciated in the room, one might wonder why you didn't raise rates today, considering what you're saying here about the risks to US inflation and your mandate. I guess, why not, and what would you need to see in order to get to that place? And secondly, on your task forces, are there any best practices at other central banks that you'd consider looking at? Thank you.
I'm glad they're in the practice of giving you two questions, because my answer to your first question was going to be very curt. I've got nothing more to say than the statement itself. And to the point of the question I got before, market reactions to what we say unfiltered, I think
he said what we said. He said what we do. He said first initial reaction.
Best practices of task forces. This is a subject I've thought some about. I've been on a task force or two in my life. Best practice, find the best minds. Ensure that the task forces have a range of people, both by backgrounds and predispositions, so they too can have a bit of a family fight.
Rental dog shoe?
Make sure when you establish a task force,
good segment,
that the group that's going to be the recipient of the information feels as though they've got some equities in it too. That's why we're looking for, haven't done the final roll call, some of the most significant talent we have in the building and across the reserve banks on each of these, and in some sense seconding them to this group for a period of
there's a shortage of oil
months, so that the leaders of the task force know what the most,
I think I know there's a shortage of oil. Gas prices are insanely high.
Thinks about that, they can reflect on it. And a final best practice, we're not outsourcing decisions to anybody. Administrations past and present, reserve banks have chosen a group of 19 people around the table. These will be our decisions. We can agree to some of the recommendations, disagree with others, have a good family fight about it. But what comes from them will, I hope and believe, make the
what a
discussion
push
internally better, stronger, more of a dialectic, so that we can.
Yo, am I tripping? He's using every word in the dictionary.
Follow up on your
every
market
word.
If you look at 2-year yields, they're really suggesting that markets think more tightening is needed. Would that be your read on what the 2-year yield is saying as well?
We were in such a good place. This is why we don't do third questions, I presume. I'm not going to offer any commentary on market reaction over the last 30 or 60 minutes. What we've given markets is a new chapter for the central bank, some fresh thinking.
Y'all like them, chat?
What we've given markets
so far?
And households and businesses, I think, is a commitment to ask ourselves hard questions such that we can deliver on the promises that we've made before. This is a lot of change for financial markets to digest. I wouldn't be particularly intrigued by how they react in the first several minutes or even first several days. What I think is most important is that financial markets, and at least as important, households and businesses know that this central bank will deliver on price stability.
Hi, Chairman Walsh. Brian Chung with NBC News. Thank you for taking our questions. So when you say that we've dropped forward guidance for the layperson, that might sound like the Fed's going to say less or offer less insight into where their borrowing costs might go. So for the person that maybe you might run into at the grocery store, where the price tags are rising at a faster pace than their wages at the moment, how would you explain it to them? I don't know if task force might be the answer there, but how would you kind of communicate this era, this chapter of the Fed?
If I told somebody in the milk aisle that I had a task force for that, I think that would be doing a very poor job, so I appreciate it. If I saw somebody in the grocery store, what I would say to them is that we cannot have a very significant effect on particular prices. The price of oil in the markets today, or even the price of a dozen eggs, that does not have first order consequences to what we're doing. But we do have a really important job there. And it's to make sure that those changes in oil or beef or eggs or milk don't broaden in the economy, don't have second and third order effects. That's our job, that's our commitment, that's our capability, and we're going to deliver on it.
And then is the Fed's relationship with the Treasury also under review? There was the normal breakfast meetings with the Treasury Secretary. Is that something you intend to continue doing? And have you had conversations with the President since you're swearing in?
So on the President, I don't have anything for you. With respect to the Treasury Secretary, he's been hosting our breakfast, so I don't think I can deny that. The long tradition at the central bank is that the Fed chairman and the Treasury Secretary meet weekly. I think we've pulled off 3 of those so far. I believe he's overseas this week, so this will be the exception to the rule. I think they're very useful discussions. The central banks.
We can get continuation from here. Let's see. Can we get a pullback though? Up to these zones. 43, 4296. Let's remove this maybe.
In the conduct of what we do.
And a re-break of a lecandle film. You get 80 pips there in that range.
The way I think about it is this central bank needs to have
but I do need to see a pullback.
Lens, but a narrow remit. We need to be quite interested in what's happening in the world. I won't be breaking any news here to suggest I'm quite interested in what's happening in the Middle East.
I think we'll move our session stop loss down, chat. I'm moving from the highs up to here. If you break above 4334, we'll call it a day.
I think we're going to keep a wide lens, and my meetings with Secretary
if this breaks, we'll call it a day.
Have helped widen that aperture, so we're aware of things that could affect our day job, even if it isn't.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chair, thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for taking my question.
Probably a second re-break. Look how slow it's going.
Before you became chairman, that you thought
Steve
productivity was a reason why the Federal Reserve could lower interest rates. Do you still believe that to be the case?
So the committee had a discussion of productivity today. AI came up. The way I thought about it before and socialized with the group is that artificial intelligence, the latest generation of general purpose technology, is perhaps as important a change in the economy and business and households that we've had in my adult lifetime. It is filled with both a huge opportunity and with risks. I take both of those very seriously. You may have heard me say before that AI is shorthand perhaps for American ingenuity. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. That certainly doesn't mean it's not going to be disruptive. But over the long term, my conviction, and I heard quite a bit of support for this around the committee today, is the United States is a winner as we go down this. The United States is ultimately going to be better off in that. Now, to bring that back to the conduct of policy, timing, scale, speed, implications for output and employment, it's one of the things we have a task force to do.
If you don't mind, a follow-up from the other side, which is that when you look at the strong job growth that's out there, the elevated inflation, GDP seems to be going pretty good, and the stock market seems to be soaring. Do you look around this economy and see the funds rate being restrictive?
So That's your second question. I'm going to give the same answer that I gave before. I'd say as I think about the conduct of policy, what matters is what's the effect of policy. Not what do we say, but what happens. And the best way I can describe it is it's uneven. I do see some restrictiveness in things like housing. It's hard to use those same words anywhere else. I'll just make one other point. You talked about one of our dual mandates on the employment side. I don't believe that we have a cruel choice. I don't share the view that was expressed a few generations ago that Federal Reserve chairmen show up at a podium like this and say, you got to choose. And you're going to have to decide whether you're willing to tolerate higher inflation to put more people at work. I don't believe in that. What I believe is if we do our job, we can make strong growth, low prices, and strong employment mutually compatible. And so what you heard from the committee today is we've got some work to do on the price stability front.
Nick.
Thank you,
Oh,
Nick
here we
Timbers
go.
from Wall
Glitching.
Street Journal. Chairman Walsh, you
Glitching.
said
Let's
repeatedly
see.
credibility
It didn't
is
tap
earned by
96. It came
delivery.
very close.
If
I wanted to see
credibility
like a really.
requires
I wanted to
delivery,
see a
then
break of the highest chat, but again, we can always take the wick entry sells right after it fills. After it drops 430 pips first, but yeah, I saw his leg count out here, and I was like, oh, we can be maybe part of this. But
and if I could ask about
I think we'll wait for that to fill now. If this maybe broke the highs, and I continue to push down.
The productivity payoff may be further out.
I think either way though, it's pretty slow on the way up, right, and then the way down wasn't one constant motion.
It's a good question. At the central bank,
Wow, it's really teasing that gap. Think about it. Everybody thinks it's gonna fill that gap, right? So is it gonna fill the gap in the easiest way, or is it gonna make it very complex to fill the gap? Think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. Look, let's see who's selling gold, right? Let's go down to who's selling gold right now. Gold. Oh, actually, hold on. More buyers right now. I'm tripping. More buyers. 53% buyers. 75, 47% sellers.
Just because we can count one better than the other doesn't mean we're going to favor one more than the other.
True.
With respect to AI and the growth of data centers and infrastructure around it, we're counting the demand side, and it is no doubt showing up.
Oh, that's a 30-minute leg candle.
We can be less certain when we infer the timing and extent of the growth in the supply side. It may well be an intuition.
We got a sell here before too, right?
Take longer.
Same areas.
Just describe it this way. There's a race between supply and demand. Milton Friedman says that the only thing we know about economics is that there's a supply line and a demand line they ultimately cross. When they cross and what are the implications for policy? The good news for you is we have a task force for that.
Andrew.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. It sounded like on the task force on data that you were looking at overhauling or completely overhauling the system of national accounts, the way the government mines the economy. Is that your ambition?
In a word, no. In a few words, much of this data gathering happens in other government agencies to which we owe a tremendous amount of respect, tremendous amount of deference. But in the course of this, we come up with recommendations, which Fed staff have already begun to develop about things that they could be doing to help inform us as policymakers. We're not going to hesitate. Again, I don't want to try to delineate the
body reaction
research
off
of the task force on
the,
data.
Nice.
But I do think there will be a review of official statistics, and at least as important, a view of bringing the best practices from the private sector and new analytical tools made possible by AI so we can forge these into a fabric that gives us better real-time information. So as I mentioned before, when we're making decisions that we'd say are real contemporaneous data, not data that we call contemporaneous, that's really an echo of history.
Okay, thanks. The other question I wanted to ask is related to the building renovations. Are you considering any changes to the renovations, the projects, just in light of the fact that...
All right, I think this speech is almost done, chat. All right, yo. I think we can close this off now. All right. So again, you have the 15 body reaction. So let's see. Or third man candle body reaction. Let's see. If this drives down, this blue zone should be able to rip through. And then I don't know if I'm getting continuation of sales. I think I was looking for something there if this was to come up and break the highs before coming. It came close. Wasn't close enough though. So now I think next idea is let this rip down and then the pullback. First pullback could be wick entry sales. Cool. But this blue zone is, I'm staying out of this blue zone. How much of the gap are you feeling right now? Okay, so just breaking into it. Let's see, there's some minor supports right here, so let's see if that breaks. Let's see. Let's see. Chat, how much percent did you guys make today, chat? On that trade? I feel like that trade was ages ago. What percent did everyone make? 70 likes, chat. I think we peaked early on today's stream because we took a trade early. That was really early. What time was the trade taken at? 204? 205. What can I do though? What can I do? There very left. Facts. 3%. Gotta be 3%, man. One person took a chat. What's the score for Portugal right now? 1-1. Oh, game done. Damn, Messi got a hat trick and Ronaldo got no goals. Damn. $7%. Oh, that's a different trade. W50. I might start to range your chat. Let's see. If it starts to just reject here, I'm just gonna call it a day, to be honest. Approx. Interesting. Sorry. 800%, bro. Damn. 800%. Man, you join a Robbins Cup today, you would have won the whole shit. If you join a Robbins Cup today, if you apply to the Robbins Cup, you would just call it a day and run. That's it. We're going to range tomorrow? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think this move is very minuscule compared to what's gonna come. I don't think we're done at all. I'm pretty confident that a major move is coming because we've been ranging for months now. And this is the first breakout, and then this is the first fake out or pullback. So now it's next up is just continuation, either a fake out back up or continuation back down. But something massive should be coming over the next couple of weeks to months. And yeah, maybe this week too, right? Because FOMC stay. So it looks like the market settled down now. Picked direction finally, right? I think he might be almost done speaking. And let's see. We gotta push down like a 390 more pips. 390 more pips. Not bad though. Pretty good price action. Compared to last FOMC, this is way, way better. Way better. 4.1%, 3.5%. crazy. Where'd he go? Where'd who go? The new guy? Have fun, Jim, man. What an active session. We had a trade, and I clipped the whole video during the stream and posted my IG at the same time. W stream though. Let's see, is he gonna push? Still a little slow on the way down, but I can pick up, right? You want to see like this consistency. Right now, it's like a little like a more slow. 400% gain, 900. That's very good though. That's very good, but did you over leverage? Asian tonight, yeah. Asian could gap, maybe. I don't think so, but Asian could be crazy. I think NY is gonna be good too. Tomorrow, chat. Might maybe a little slower Asian. London for New York tomorrow to push. And rejection once again. So honestly, that might be it, chat. That might be it. Our next move was like if this were to continue down and then pull back and look for a wick entry sell here, because that's gonna be a higher low or a lower high to continue down or higher low to continue up. But if you're just struggling here, I think that's it, chat. Honestly, we'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 80 on East, we'll be here live. Okay? So that's it for today. 1.81%, 101 pips caught on stream, broken down, prepared for it, drew it out, taken, stop loss, TP, BEs, trail stops, like done, like literally step-by-step guide today. And that was a quick trade. It was a 28-second trade today. 28-second trade. So, chat, that's it, man. I'm going to call it. Best of luck if you guys train the rest of the session. If you guys train Asian in London, Asian MIC y'all in the Divas 01. Aside from that, till chat. Have a good one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, man. Peace, peace. Laters.
And we riding, it's a little bit of licking, we sliding. It's on, and we biting. Say goodbye to the worries, baby.
Oh, wait. Discord chat. Discord is open, okay? Discord is open. Let me just send the link here. Discord is open. Discord is open. Pinned. There you go. See y'all in there.
Understands the code. See, we play our roles. This is how it goes. Innocent. Ooh. And I'm
wait, wrong one. Hold on.
See, I'm just a creature in the night. She gives me what I like. Electric to my bones. Feels so right.
Splendid. Simply delicious. I am the glow gab gala, the swabble double wobble gab.
Money spread, money spread, money spread. Money spread, money spread, money spread. Money spread, money spread, money spread.
Letters.
I got 150 something. I got 150. Money spread, money spread, money spread. Peace and blue like bubble gum. Peace and blue like bubble gum. Peace and blue like bubble gum. P50s and blue honeys, yeah, look like bubble gum. Show them my money spread, she spread her legs, yeah, I got us run. Caught a fucking castle every bedroom, a master tall model. So fuck this, how you gotta use a ladder. This more chaos first is beautiful, then it's a disaster. This a money